Good evening and welcome to the March 19th Glenville Town Board meeting. Would we all please rise for the invocation? Chaplain Diaz. Thank you.
Join me as you're able. Gracious and loving Creator of all, we come before you not as a separate individual, but as a one united community, humbly seeking your blessing. You know the struggles that weighs on our hearts, whether our own or those of someone dear to us. We ask that your light of hope and strength touch all who needs it, giving them the courage to persevere. Guide our conversations today with your wisdom. May our choice reflect compassion, and may our actions radiate integrity. We place our trust in your loving presence as we journey forward together. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramatar?
Here.
Councilman Blue?
Here.
Councilman Aragosa?
Here.
Councilman Perkins?
Here. And I will now start with council reports, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Aragosa.
Just one report. Tonight, there is a Fresh Tables event being held currently at the Scotia Library, probably just about wrapping up. So keep in mind our Fresh Tables events do go in line with our second meeting of every month. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Galula
No report tonight.
and Councilman Ramadan.
No reports.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our normal agenda. And the first thing on our agenda tonight is a public hearing for all those interested in hearing about an extension to Sewer District 9. It is a property located at 107 Maplewood Drive in Glenville. I will now open that public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard? Is there anyone wishing to be heard? Public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard on the public hearing? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. We'll now move on to privilege of the floor. We have quite a few individuals signed up. Our clerk will call each individual up one at a time. And please come up to the podium here and you can start speaking. I would say if you would please keep your remarks to 3 minutes, that would be great. Thank you.
Our first person is Ray Gaulis.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, they said my name is Ray Gaulis. I guess I shouldn't have to repeat it, but I will. I'm with the Schenectady County Conservation Council, with the New York State Conservation Council for over 40 years. I'm also the Schenectady County Sportsman's Representative to the New York State Fish and Wildlife Management Board for Region 4. And at our Region 4 meeting, the last one I was at, they kept saying, hey, we have too much money in the one fund for the habitat and access stamp. If you buy a hunting license, one of the questions you generally are asked is, do you want to spend $5 for a habitat and access stamp? $1 which goes to the seller and $4 which goes into the account. They aren't getting enough of proposals for habitat or access improvement for wildlife. And they encouraged us to see what we can come up with in our various counties. And I thought about it for a while, and I realized Schenectady County Conservation Council, along with several other organizations, have been sponsoring a trout derby in the Indian Kill for the last almost 30 years. I don't know if any of you ever went down those steps going down there, but they are just a block of railroad tie with backfill of dirt, and good luck going down. It wears out, and it could be very dangerous. I haven't been down there in a couple of years for the simple fact that I don't go down steps unless there's a railing to hang on to. And I thought about maybe that's something we should consider. The town board would have to approve it along with parks, and we would be willing to work with the town and see if we can improve those steps going down and get a handrail for older people, particularly like me, that would get into it. I encourage the board to read the brochure that the state put out. I would gladly meet with you if you decide that we should pursue this. If it's a viable option for the town, I think it would be very good to have a little more safety going down those steps. So again, look at that, talk it over. We'd have to get some kind of engineering, architectural engineering to come in there and set it up so that it could be done the right way. Railing, you just can't put that railing in the dirt. You got to have some good backing for it so it doesn't get destroyed. And if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer them right now.
Thank you, Ray, for your comments. Typically, the board doesn't interact with privilege of the floor. We're not certainly going to engage in any interaction, but I will comment to the extent that the Indian Kill is run by the county. Okay.
Oh.
So it is a county-run facility. The trail going in is maintained by the county. Certainly will address this with the county. I think the Fish and Derby is something that is absolutely wonderful for the young people in our community. I've been there a couple of times as well. And I agree with you. The stairs can be a little bit tricky to navigate. So I will have a conversation with the county and we'll see what we can do, Ray. But thank you.
And I'd gladly meet with the county board too. I thought the town owned it, not the county.
Nope, that's a county property.
That's my mistake then.
No problem. It's always good to bring things here at the local level as well.
Work our way
So
up.
we love
Okay.
working with the county. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Our next speaker is Sandy Ruggiero.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's okay.
Clarification on the amount of time. The last couple of videos I pulled up, the privilege of the floor was about almost 10 minutes per person. Is there a reason why there's limited to three minutes
No,
tonight?
I mean, because of the number of speakers that we have engaged this evening, 3 minutes would be the appropriate level of time. I mean, typically if we have one person coming to the podium, if they run over, a minute or two, we try to be very respectful to all of our residents. Certainly if you have things that you feel like, you're going to run over a minute, and you're like, I can summarize, we'll let you continue.
Okay, because I was going to say, I'm here with the residents of Lincoln Drive to talk about an issue we've been having with our street, with the parking situation at the dentist end of the corner located at 170 Saratoga Road. We had an incident a few weeks ago where ambulances were called to the dental office, and it caused quite a problem on the street. I'm trying to figure out how I can give you a quick synopsis for the board members who aren't familiar with this situation in 3 minutes or less. So what I will say is that it's become an extremely difficult and dangerous situation for the children. As you can see, we have all the kids most of the kids from the street here with their parents, wanting to ask the town board as stewards of this community and having a fiduciary obligation to the town residents that you look into this and you maybe compel the building department and the building inspector to violate Dr. Singh's practice because he is over intensified and needs based on what he has there, which is 11 exam operating rooms. According to town code, it's 2.5 cars per exam op room, which means he needs 28 spaces. He has 19. He went and lost the variance at the zoning board of appeals, not once, but twice. And the reason the zoning board refused to give them a variance is they said the 5 critical reasons were the undesirable change to the neighborhood, the reduction of the building would require fewer parking spaces, the requested variance is substantial as compared to dimensions allowed by zoning code, and it was an adverse impact to the neighborhood, sight lines of parked cars, increased traffic, 50% or greater, environmental concerns, and it was a self-created difficulty. I will tell you, the bigger problem is that a typical street, according to code, is 30 foot wide. We are dealing with a street that is 20 foot wide and narrows down to about 18 feet if you're going to the entrance to Dr. Singh's property. If you'll notice one of those photographs, and again, this is, not to sound like somebody who's anti-business, I own a business, but you have to work within the realm of the zoning code, period. His snowplow guy, and if you guys want to look at picture 6, plows the snow from his lot into the street, and it's been going on. I have stepped back for a few months, and I've let the neighbors call, and they have not had good luck with getting any answers that will help the situation other than talk to your neighbor. We're way beyond that, way beyond that. He is in violation as far as the town code goes. Why the town refuses to violate him is beyond me, because we've done a traffic study where 80% of the cars coming in and out of the building are related to the dental office. And the 1 week that they did it in front of Dr. Singh's property to measure the dental office, he wasn't even open. And you had 200 cars a day back then. So if you look at some of these pictures, if you look at picture 1 where the ambulance is there, these people from the dental practice are literally cutting in front of the ambulances. If you can see that, and you see all the cars parked on the street. 2, you see how narrow the street is. Those 2 gentlemen walking around the truck are that gentleman right there and that gentleman right there, dropping off their kids on the bus. That's what they have to navigate in the course of a day. 3 is that young lady right there with her small children getting the kids off the bus. And as you can see, there's barely any room. She has nowhere to go with all these cars. These 2 cars parked on the corner of Route 50 and Lincoln Drive right there are from the dental practice. 4, same thing. 5, same thing. 6, they're literally parking their cars on the sidewalk, so there's no.
Excuse me for 1 second. I just want to advise you, we're at 5 minutes right now.
Okay.
Okay. So if you could please summarize, I will give you the time to summarize.
I will, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure that they'll be able to speak within the time. I think it's critical that the board know. I'm sorry, I'm getting dry mouth. That the board know and understand how serious of a situation this is. And we're looking for the parents of the children to speak, and I'm sure they'll be able to keep it around the 3-minute mark. I thought it was imperative that the board have a rough idea of who what we're talking about. And I've also put contact information on the pictures in case some of the board members want to reach out. And I'm sure that we'll might have to come back again and come up with more information with the time allotted that we have.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Alicia Rinsky.
Hi, I'm Alicia Remsky. I live directly across from the dentist, 3 Lincoln Drive. Since this place has been built, I've had nothing but problems of trucks on my lawn, cars. And when the place was completely built, I have a sister that is handicapped, and she has to have a vehicle come pick her up. And they have had problems getting in and getting out of my driveway due to massive cars parking on the opposite side of the road where I pull out. I have problems myself. I've had to go in and ask to have them please move their cars so I could get out of my driveway. I've been dealing with this since it's been built. I'm sure Sandy has showed some pictures. I didn't know how to bring pictures tonight, but I had many of them where I took pictures of them on my lawn, tire ruts, left. I would ask that the town or who is responsible, the doctor, to fill in my front lawn where all the marks are from the vehicles that park there from the dentist. Being right across the street, I get a lot more than anybody else does. And I have spoken with the Sandy about this. It is a hazard to children. They ride their bikes. You don't know, people come up, they turn around, they use our streets to turn around and go back out. It's a big concern. I usually let Sandy handle this because I'm not one that comes in and talks to people and express myself, because 90% of the time it's wasted time. But I'm asking tonight for something to be done, because having a handicapped sister in a wheelchair, having to be picked up to go to the doctors, and they can't get in or they cannot back out. They are big vans. Okay. And she's having a problem getting them there because they're complaining that there are too many cars that are blocking their way to get in and get out conveniently. So I'm dealing with tire ruts. So I'm also asking for somebody to come repair the lawn in front of my house that is used constantly by the dentist office cars. They park on the lawn, not on the street. Their tires, I have tire ruts that I have to fill in. It costs me money to fill in, put new grass seed down, only for it to continue to happen. And I don't think I should be responsible for the cost of the dentist office having not enough parking. The street is not wide enough as it is. We can't pass each other. We can touch hands. There's not enough room. So I please would ask that you take that into consideration, that I am directly across from the dentist. I've been dealing with this since the day they built it. The trucks, when they did the damage, I had to go over and ask them. They come over, I had no problem. They filled it in and they took care of it. But since then, it's been open and the traffic is phenomenal. My lawn needs to be redone again. It is sinking all in the front where they put that pipe. It is now all sunk down. My grass is all dead. There are tire tracks. And I'm asking for someone to, I don't know who to address that to, whether it's the town or the dentist office, to take and fix the repairs on my lawn. Out of respect, I would appreciate that. Again, too many cars. I get hit directly. I'm across the street. And I don't think it's fair that I have to come out and have to maneuver 6 times just to be able to pull out on my street. Okay, when I come home, they're parked on both sides. They don't just use one side, they use both sides. And when you're directly in front of my driveway, there is no way I can back out carefully. I have a mailbox, a tree there, and I just think that something needs to be done here, and I would appreciate that. If you take that into consideration, I am definitely getting the brunt of the action here. Okay, and I'm trying to be calm, cool, collective tonight. It's the way it should be, and I'm just asking, please take care of that. I would appreciate that. And if it could fix or work on fixing the situation with the dentist office. Because I've been here 24 years, and I'm ready to put my house up on the market, as I'm tired of dealing with this stuff on this street alone. 24 years, I've been going through a lot of issues with traffic,
Ma'am.
everything. 3 minutes is up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, no, I mean, we're over 3 minutes.
Okay,
If, we understand what your concern is.
okay.
All right.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Our next speaker is Andrew Boyer.
How you doing? I'm Andrew. I'm at 10 Lincoln Drive. I only come here to vote usually. I don't want to be involved in local politics, but this is a situation where we've kind of been complaining about it, and some people came down and they were like, "Wow, this is pretty bad," and then they leave. And that might be a situation where they forget, but when it's in the middle of winter and it's 20 degrees, and there's a 4-foot snowbank on one side, and there's a garbage truck, a 15-foot garbage truck coming down the road, and my 5-year-old is like, I remember that no one did anything. So I just, like, I don't, the street is a mess, right? You have one side, at some point, they filled in one side, but they didn't do the other. I'm not sure why. So you have like a 4-foot ditch on one side, and then you have this guy plowing the snow for the other. We have nowhere to go. In the summer, I can stand on his lawn to put my daughter on the bus. I don't want to do that. He doesn't want me on his lawn. But in the winter, you have a snowbank this tall, that's taller than my 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and then it's just a nightmare. This morning, there was a garbage truck, and we're standing in the road. And I'm like, where do you go? If my 5-year-old, you know, lost a bouncy ball and decided to get out of my hand, like that's a dangerous situation. It's just not good. And at the end of the street, both sides are, I mean, it's like 4 or 5 feet down. So, yeah, I don't want to take all the time, but I want to show support. And you see how many people are here now. It is only going to grow because we've never been this coordinated, but this is a situation that's only going to be more coordinated. More and more people from the street are going to come, and all of our friends are going to hear about it. You know what I mean? So, please, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jess Chanel.
Hi, I'm Jess Janot. I'm for Lincoln Drive. I'm going to clip note some of the stuff I've been calling in. We've had a lot of situations. The biggest one right now is the overfilling of the parking lot at the dentist office. It's caused some real recent dangerous situations. I've called a couple times, left some messages. It's been an ongoing issue. What's happening is when people are coming for appointments and the parking lot is full, they don't know what to do. So you've heard all about the street and everything, but what's happening is they're backing up onto Route 50. And when people are, we're trying to come in from school and it's extra busy, especially on Mondays, there's been a couple times where I personally have gotten in a car accident with my kids because somebody's trying to back out on Route 50 because they don't know what to do. And I'm trying to come in and somebody behind me is like not being patient and almost rear-ending me. So it's just gotten very dangerous because a lot of times I think we've all been there. We're like rushing to appointments and we don't know what to do. And they show up and there's nowhere for them. So people are just like frantically turning and backing and doing all of this at the end of the street where there's Route 50. So it's just gotten really dangerous. The scary thing that happened a couple weeks ago was when they had an emergency at the dentist's office. And the first responder showed up, and I had actually made a phone call to the police because I had just almost gotten in an accident on Route 50, trying to get into my driveway, get onto the street to get to my driveway. I called the police, and all of a sudden the ambulance shows up because they had an emergency. The police never showed up, for one, on the police call that day. The first responder showed up, and the ambulance couldn't get down the street. So the first responder had to evacuate people trying to get the ambulance into the parking lot. That's super scary. In an emergency, seconds are very vital. And to have somebody juggle cars because they can't get there, how would they ever get anywhere else down the street? A fire truck? Definitely couldn't. So, this has gotten really dangerous. We've spent a lot of time talking about this, putting it on record. And I do want to say that on public record, it's a liability of the town now. Because if one of our children gets hurt or something happens and there is an accident, or a fire truck or an ambulance can't get down the street because of this, it's on record and it's on the town. And you're looking at lawsuits because this is a dangerous, dangerous situation. And all we're asking is for him to follow his code and use the spots that he has and not double, triple it. And it's not very hard to see from the pictures or if you drive by that even in the beginning of the day, they're parking all over the place trying to fit too many people into that area and on that street. And that's the bottom line. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ashley Benincasa.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Benincasa. I live at 8 Lincoln Drive. These are my 3 children and my husband. Not thrilled to be here this evening at 7:30. We're missing homework, bath time, and most importantly, Paw Patrol. However, I felt compelled to be here to speak on behalf of my children and the other children that live on the street, 12 in total, 8 of them being school-age children that ride the school bus. My husband and I work full time, and as you can imagine, the stresses of getting out of the house in the morning are extreme, but that doesn't end at the door. The stress pours out onto the street, much like the overflow of cars at the dentist at 170 Saratoga Road. So, as you heard one of the other parents say, we have to be hyper vigilant when we're walking to and from the bus stop, not to mention when the kids are out riding their bikes. Due to the daily chaos that ensues on the street with the cars parking, entering and exiting, and I fear for our safety daily. As I think Jess or someone had mentioned, right? They're patients coming to the dentist, right? All they're concerned about is making their appointment on time. I know I'm guilty of it too. So they don't recognize that there's children on the street and that there's bus stops that they have to be aware of. All they're aware of is getting to the dentist on time. So there have been several occasions where I've pulled my kids onto the grass to avoid being hit, much like Andrew spoke of the garbage truck. I think that was this morning even. Literally, you could hold your hand out, and we were on the side, on the grass line. You could hold your hand out, and you could touch the garbage truck. Like, if one of our kids lost their balance, they'd be hit by the bus. It's out of control. As mentioned, the recent winter months, is worse with even more limited safe space to stand. I've personally spoken at the town traffic and safety committee meetings, and I'm aghast that the only proposed solution was to put up no parking signs. I feel that would be I would be penalized, the neighbors on the street would be penalized for someone else's poor planning and not following the rules. So as a concerned parent and tax-paying homeowner, I'm putting the town on notice that if my children are harmed in any way due to the lack of action on this preventable issue, the town will have a huge lawsuit on their hands. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Joey Benincasa.
Thank you, board. Thank you, everyone, for your painting the picture. My number one concern is the safety of my children. I know you guys have heard it ad nauseum right now from this group. I'm concerned with the constant, never-ending flow of traffic coming in and out of the dental practice. This is an everyday situation. I see it because I'm at the bus stop in the AM and in the PM. And I wonder how it will impact the safety of my children. I've noticed several other issues related to the dental practice traffic in no particular order. The street parking by the patients of the practice, which has actually reduced the width of the street based on how the patients are parking. Mailboxes have been destroyed. We've had mailboxes that have actually been hit by patients trying to find a parking spot and not being able to navigate the road and taking out someone's mailbox. I've witnessed patients driving down the street unaware that children live here. So once again, as my wife said, and as some of the other speakers have said, they're trying to get to a dental appointment, but they don't realize that there's a bunch of little kids on the street that are just playing. So the dentist is operating early in the morning before my kids get on the bus, and they're operating later when my kids are home. Recently, I realized we had another safety issue, which was just spoken on. When I noticed ambulances responding to the dental practice. The way it affected me, my perspective was I was actually leaving to go pick up my kids. I had to pick them up at a certain time for daycare. So I was actually in the midst of it, which I didn't notice until I got in my car and I saw the kerfuffle down the road. What I noticed were cars were trying to get in front of not being blocked into the dentist's office. And I had asked there was somebody blocking traffic. I said, can I get through? I got to get my kids. He said, yeah. Kindly move the first responder kindly moved the truck so I could actually drive through. But what I noticed was literally a melee of cars coming in and out, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna see another accident, which was unnerving because I'm like, this is literally on a small street. The event made me question what would happen if we had an emergency or a fire further up the street at my house. I literally asked myself the question, how would they get to my house in time? As a father and a tax-paying town resident, I'm very disappointed at the town's response. The solution that they had, which was mentioned before from the Traffic and Safety Committee, the best solution they could come up with for us said, put up no parking signs. Finally, in a recent conversation with Acting Town Supervisor Rob Kirkham, I'm Joey, we had spoken, you had advised me to do the neighborly thing and ask the dentist to snowplow a path to where my kids could wait for the bus in the wintertime. And after that response, after I actually got off the phone and I reflected, I go, man, what an arrogant and uninformed piece of advice you gave to me. We didn't even talk about the situation. You just kept saying, I'm familiar with it, I'm familiar with it, I'm familiar with it. Be neighborly. No. I'm neighborly in the sense I'm nice to people, right? I'm respectful to the dentist. I make sure my kids are not running all over their lawn, but this has become a hazardous issue. And I implore you guys to find it within yourselves to literally do a little investigation and figure out how we can resolve this. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Asghar Aziz.
Hi, my name is Matt Mahaley. I live at 9 Lincoln Drive. I'm going to speak on behalf of.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
Matt Mahaley.
Can you
I'm
spell
not-
your last name for me, please?
Mihaley.
M-I-H.
Thank you.
Well, I'll be super brief.
No,
So
go ahead.
I have, so one question. I've already asked this of the dentist. I'm not going to rehash anything. You don't need to hear it again. But I've already asked, the head secretary over at the dentist, why don't you open on Friday? A very simple question, because I'm more about let's find a solution to this thing and get it over with. And I said, why don't you open on Friday? And she was just, well, they have another practice. Okay, but you still continue to have this problem, and they're not doing anything about it. So that's the only comment that I wanted to make. If they open on Friday, that alleviates some of this congestion on the street and these people trying to find somewhere to park. If I owned the business, I'm a food broker and I'm all about finding solutions to problems in my business. So if I owned that business, that's what I would do. I would be open on Friday to alleviate that pressure on Mondays and Tuesdays when that's when the most problems are. I've only been living on the street for a year now, and that's everything that I've seen. And a couple of weeks ago, it got worse. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Dan Miller.
Good evening. I also live in Lincoln Drive as well. I live off the street from everybody else, and I have the same experience and same feedback as my neighbors. I have a 8-year-old daughter goes to Glenville. We wait at the bus. You know, again, this morning, same deal. We had a garbage truck come up. We had people coming into the practice, and you know, there's barely any space. During the wintertime, same deal. You know, we're trying to push our kids onto the snow so that it's safe for the cars to come up and keep our kids safe from being hit by cars, right? While waiting for the bus. So I'm gonna keep it broke, you know, brief and short. You know, I stand behind my neighbors and everything they experience, I've experienced as well. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Jamie Zelensky.
Evening. I'm Jamie Zelensky. I live at 152 Barhide Road on top of the old landfill. I come this evening the third time now about the town property. We have a mound of probably several hundred tires. We have old lampposts, abandoned vehicles, sewer pipes, so on and so forth, oil tanks. It's a real eyesore. I've been there 23 years. In the last 5 years, it's just gotten way out of hand, especially with this solar farm, this $10 million project. And you can't even put up a $10,000 fence, a privacy fence for a taxpayer. Anyhow, it's just a real eyesore. And, I'm just ready to get a hold of DEC and try to make some headway that way, because this is my third time now with the board here. So hopefully we can get this rectified with a privacy fence or get it cleaned up, something's got to be done, because it's pretty horrible. I got a bunch of pictures here.
We'll take them, Jimmy. Thank you.
And just trying to figure out what's going on with Blair Road Extension. They came in a year or two ago and chopped down all the trees. Now we have this big influx from Route 5 with noise. And there's stumps, 2-3 foot high stumps. I've never seen such a thing in a township. I mean, it doesn't say much for the town. You go by, it looks like a graveyard. I don't get it. I don't understand why that was done. Does anybody have an answer?
I'll respond after you're through.
Okay, I'm done.
So the Bly Road extension is going to be used for a fire training facility. So it was caught, and then some engineering work had to be done. So eventually the lot will be cleared and seeded. This project, my understanding, this property was given 25 years ago for that specific purpose. It is actually just starting to get off the ground now, and it'll be utilized by 7 fire districts for a training facility.
I have no problem town to do whatever they do with the property, but, maintain it, make it look halfway decent, I mean, it looks horrible right now.
It will.
It really does. I mean, it's been like that for a year. I get a hold of Tom Capola, I call them, I call the highway department. I've called code enforcement several times. I mean, I hate to be a pain in the ass, but it's like, I have to live there. I keep my stuff nice and tidy and neat, I maintain the stuff. Just, all I'm asking is get rid of the junk, I mean, God forbid I got to try to sell the house.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak at privilege of floor? Please come forward, one at a time. State your name and address, please.
My name is Adam Sack. I live at 133 Saratoga Road at first time coming here.
Take your time.
At the SOSHA management, the apartments there. And what my friend is going to come up for as well, Connor, who's behind me, is both of us are having the same problem. I work right down the street at the the Scotia Glenville Market 32 Price Chopper. And there are two bus stops, one right outside, like me walking from the B building where I live, just right down to 250 at Route 450, sorry. And there's a bus stop, like right when you go on to go down towards this way. And then there's also a bus stop that I have to take to work right on the other side, the Rudy Chase Drive one. And he'll expand on this, Connor will. There is no crosswalk sign, so I have to wait for the light to turn green before I can even cross. And to me, it's a safety issue only because I don't drive. I depend on the CDTA bus for my transportation unless I am being picked up by my parents, or in this case, Connor, who brought me here today. He is another tenant. We live in the same B building. And I'm just trying to bring it up because if there is like a crosswalk sign, like all the other stops that the bus stops at, where you press the button, very simple, you wait for the white, person to come up so you can cross. Every other bus stop that I go to from the CDTA bus has it. Glenridge Road, Surrey Road, where I work at Price Chopper, they have one there. Going back to my apartment, they have all of them there. I can get safely back to my apartment because of that bus stop, but having to try to safely cross over to Rudy Chase Drive, where it brings me to work, I've had somebody literally say to me, like, I don't know if it was like an angry thing, but it's like, okay, well, why did you not get across easily? I had to apologize to a CDTA bus driver. I'm sorry I put your bus passengers, I'm sorry I put you, the bus driver, all in danger. And I even told him it will not happen again. But since I moved here to Glenville, since I moved to that apartment where me and Connor, who will try to get this done like ASAP, we've both had to deal with that, even though he drives and I do CDTA. I have no safety in trying to cross the street so I can get to work. Every other place has a crosswalk sign, so I'm safely go whether I'm walking or getting the bus. And I'm just hoping, which he'll try to go real quick on.
Could you please just summarize if you have more to state?
Oh, no, that's the main thing, and I apologize if I took too much of your time.
No.
He's just gonna say a little bit of the same thing.
We're at 4 minutes. And I just wanted you to summarize, that's all.
Yeah, pretty much quick summary is just, it's a hazard for me because I take the bus as the main transportation. He got me here because of that whole scenario, and it's just put me, the one time I mentioned real quick, the bus driver, the passengers on there in danger. I've nearly gotten hit by a car. And hopefully that's a quick enough summary, and I apologize if that was 5 minutes.
No, thank you. Thank you for your remarks.
Thank you. Now
Sir, you can approach the podium and state your name and address, please.
So as he said, my name is Connor McCallion. I live at 130.
Spell your last name, please.
M as in man, CC, ALLION as in Nancy. I live at 133 Saratoga Road in the B building. So two things. The crosswalk that he mentioned, we're talking about like a 4-lane road, right? As he said, there's no crosswalk sign. I think there's a hat pattern thing, but like in the winter, I've had to sprint across the road because you don't know if some driver's going to decide that, you don't know who's driving behind the car. I've had times where I cross the road and it just feels like you start playing Frogger the moment you get on the road because there's no crosswalk signs, there's no real anything to at least make it feel safe, not be safe. The other thing is, I would like a sidewalk from the Shady Lane apartment complex to the Hannaford if possible. Because first of all, it would make just the community healthier. If people have more choices in how to get places, they'll usually use them. And, I have neighbors, including my friend here, who they don't drive. And if they miss the bus, they have to walk to work. And they have to walk literally in the road for like a half hour. And anyone who's going to be walking from there to the shop really deserves to be able to do that safely. In the ideal world, I asked for one from the Walmart on Dutch Meadows Lane to the Hannaford, but I'll settle for one from the apartment complex to the Hannaford. That's all.
Thank you for your comments.
Yep.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak at privilege of the floor? Is there anyone else wishing to be heard at privilege of the floor? Anyone else wishing to be heard at privilege of the floor? Seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. We will move on to our agenda for this evening. And we'll move to the supervisor's comments, and I'm not going to make any comments this evening. So we'll now move on to number 8, and that is a resolution adopting extension 7 for sewer district 9. This is, as stated before, with a public hearing and seeker as well. Sorry about that. Seeker determination. So it will add 107 Maplewood Drive to connect to the town's sanitary sewer system. The environmental review was completed and the town declared a negative declaration. Do I have a motion to move this?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
The only question I have, is this an existing home or new?
Peter?
It's an existing home where they're getting ready for renovation, so it has been a report, they provided it to the Pleasant House. So the only option is to kind of do a source space, it's not going to be enough real estate for the septic system, so they're brand new home, and they basically tie into the system, so it's a combination of the renovation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Rutherford?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to number 9, a resolution authorizing the acting supervisor to enter into an agreement with Delaware Engineering for contaminant removal project. This is part of the engineering for many of the things that will happen at our water treatment plant, and primarily the install of a GAC system, that it is called, to remove PFAS. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this?
I think you'd be able to better discuss that, or
Yes,
Peter,
sir.
do you want to take
Peter,
it?
if you would like to just give a brief statement of that, how Delaware has been working on this, and go ahead.
So I was reading the current threshold is 6 minutes ago was maximum levels. Recently, the federal EPA threshold, so that's for EPT, which is parts per trillion. basically, we're trying to be proactive and get started with Delaware and engineering work. Fortunately, we obtained some grant money and we have other revenues or financial front end, so we're in a good position to pull the trigger on this project. So this phase is going to be for the engineering solely. And as you guys know, we're also working on upgrades to the plant. So basically, it's like a bridge. You want some engineers constructing the bridge. The two projects are, they're basically going to keep with each other. So if you have any further questions, let me know.
Thank you, Peter. And I want to commend the hard work that you've put into this, along with Dana Kilgore and Tom Capola, and certainly Delaware Engineering. It definitely have put the town in a very good place to make sure that we continue to provide our residents with the best quality drinking water. So we absolutely appreciate your hard work and effort. And as you mentioned, the EFC grant will contribute a considerable amount to this, and our settlements as well, which we don't have definitive numbers, but due to the hard work and being proactive, has really put the town in a very good position. So thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Redpath?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to number 10, a resolution accepting Delaware Engineering's change order for the water system improvement plant professional service agreement. This one directly pertains to the extension in the industrial park. There was a lot of extra work that was required with the state comptroller's office, and so that's why we've had the change here in this service agreement. Is there any further discussion? Oh, I need a motion, I'm sorry.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Is this budgeted or?
It is.
Okay, thank
It
you.
is. Yep. This is budgeted in our capital fund. Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Redpath?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, on to number 12, and this is a resolution accepting Creighton Manning's proposal for the Mohawk Hudson. Oh, I did, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Thanks, Julie. Let me back up here. We're going to 11, a resolution accepting MR2's change order for the west upper wall rebuilt at Yates Mansion. This will be kind of buttoning things up, making the Yates project kind of watertight and weatherproof. We held off a little bit, so they did some temporary weatherproofing, and this will button it up when spring comes and allows for better weather to do the masonry work. That's why we pulled it from the beginning. All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
So this is pretty much going to spend the budget that we have for the project for this year, and we're going to move on after this to next year's budget plan to do any more work?
Correct, Councilman.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Redpath?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. Now we'll move on to 12, a resolution accepting Creighton Manning's proposal for the Mohawk Hudson bike hike pedestrian bridge design. This is specific for a bridge called Whipple Bridge, which goes over the Collins Creek. And this is for their proposal for design work for that pedestrian bike hike bridge. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
There's a grant to cover what you just said, Acting Supervisor.
Very good. And I will add that we have secured a sufficient grant to help fund this project as well. Seeing no further discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Renifer?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Clifford?
Yes. On to number 13, a resolution awarding the 2025 bulk collection program to county waste and recycling services. Um, This is our annual bulk item pickup. We solicited for proposals. County Waste was the only one to return a proposal. Their curbside proposal came in way over budget, so that's why we are going with option two. Option two is funded at $24,000, and it will provide pickup at our senior center, Glenville Senior Center, right off of Warden Road. We'll hold that on 2 Saturdays, it'd be June 7th and June 14th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it will give a complete list, just like every other pickup, of acceptable items that can be dumped for that collection. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I think you stated it all, Acting Supervisor. I mean, based on the two options that we have, the first option is extremely expensive, which would not be feasible. And obviously, some folks are going to have a tougher time dropping it off, but that is the best option for most of our residents, in my opinion.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there any further discussion? I would just certainly like to add as well that, we certainly love providing services to our residents, but we really have a financial responsibility as well. This came in extremely over budget. We feel this is the best option that we can provide to our residents and still provide a service. So obviously, maintaining financial stewardship is the utmost importance to this board. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Renifer?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Clifford?
Yes. On to number 14, a resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of the amended Capital Region Veterans Memorial, Inc., CRVM license agreement. This agreement just solidifies the parameters that the veterans can operate within the park, the house, and the things that will be required of them. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Is there any discussion? I'll just reiterate the fact that, we love our veterans, we appreciate their service, and love what Legacy Park has become, and want to continue to support that in the future. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Renifer?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Clifford?
Yes. On to 15, a resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works to purchase a Kawasaki 35 horsepower mower from Grassland Equipment and Troy Schenectady Road for the sum of $11,819.10. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Renifer?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Clifford?
Yes. On to 16, a resolution authorizing the acting supervisor to execute and deliver an agreement between the town of Glenville and the village of Scotia to acquire water meters in the amount of $7,500. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, Scotia has some water meters that they no longer need. We'll be buying them for our uses in the future.
Yes, I'm happy to say that this is a fine example of intermunicipal cooperation between the village and the town. This will allow us to not go through the labor-intense process of changing out the whole meter. We'll just change out the heads. And so, again, I would like to extend a thank you to Mayor Village Farrow for his cooperation and look forward to working with the village in the future. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, on to 17, a resolution approving the minutes of the regular town board meeting held on March 5th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
This is just a resolution to approve the minutes which Julie had provided to us all through our mail. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes, on to 18, a resolution approving the monthly reports for February 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Again, this is monthly reports which we all receive in our email from the departments. Thank them.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Blue?
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Zaragoza?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes. On to number 19, new business, and I'll start on my left with Councilman.
I have nothing.
Councilman Galuli,
Nothing tonight.
Councilman Ramichardt.
Nothing new.
And for me, nothing new. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Losing my voice. What's up with that? It's all the